Hello, YouTube. Now, this is part two of Prophecy Shmophecy. None of it is true. Where we left off in part one, we were talking about Mother Shipton and her statement that the world shall to an end come in 1991. Of course, that date, like all the others so far, has come and gone. In 1992, a fellow named David Koresh had become the leader of a cult known as the Branch Davidians, and he calculated that the end would occur in 1995. His end did occur in 1993. Now, if you have comments about the FBI and the Branch Davidian siege and all of that, please make a video. That is a separate issue from what I'm taking up here. I will entertain any comments you have about his prophecy, but please nothing about the siege in this particular case. Benny Hinn of the Assemblies of God predicted that the rapture would come in 1993. He also said that God would destroy all homosexuals by 1995 at the latest. I don't think that's happened yet. Beginning in 1994 and continuing to the present, as far as I can tell, a homemaker and nurse in Conyers, Georgia, a woman named Nancy Fowler, has been receiving visions directly from Jesus and Mary, foretelling disasters, including what appear to be earthquakes, famines, and wars. Unfortunately, the specific locations and times aren't given. But a cottage industry has risen around Ms. Fowler and her visions, which includes the sale of videotapes of her vision announcements and prayer services. Pilgrims have been showing up in Conyers, Georgia on the 13th of every month to listen to Ms. Fowler's visions. It is said that there have been more than 1 million visitors so far. Back in 1658, an Irish bishop named James Ussher calculated the date of the creation of the world as October 23, 4004 BCE. He postulated that the earth would end 6,000 years from that date. That places his end of the world prediction for October 23, 1996. By his calculation, my life should have ended at 54 years and 18 days. Since I passed my 65th birthday, I should say, last October, I'd have to say that the good bishop was mistaken. Vijay Kumar, an Indian mystic, predicted that in 1998 or 1999, World War III would begin with an attack by Muslim countries on the U.S. 8 nuclear bombs, perhaps provided by China, would be exploded in 8 U.S. cities on the same day. The resulting war would cause Israel to be reduced to ashes in 6 days. Then India, the largest democratic state in the world, would rise from its slumber, according to him, and presumably to become the preeminent power. There's little doubt that if Muslim extremists could get their hands on one nuclear bomb, they would use it somewhere in the U.S., but all-out conflagration Kumar describes is now 10 years past his timetable and is unlikely ever to happen as he describes. Edgar Cayce is one of the best-known predictors of the future. Many of his predictions are believed by many to have come true, though, like those of Nostradamus, his predictions were often vague enough to be later interpreted in more specific terms that made them appear true. One of his more spectacular predictions was the return of Jesus Christ in 1998. Skeptics point out that there has been no event of Jesus coming in power from the sky, witnessed simultaneously by everyone in the world. But Cayce believed that Jesus would make his second appearance as he had his first, being born into the world. So if Cayce is right, the reincarnated Jesus is alive right now as a young child. Given the time frame in the Gospels, perhaps we should expect the emergence of an adult Christ in about 20 more years. If I'm still breathing at the age of 85, would one of you come and nudge me awake so I can know whether or not it happened? Father Alexander McKenna claimed that the Virgin Mary had spoken to him in the Chapel of the Apparitions, where she had first appeared to the children of Fatima in Portugal. Her message was that unless people abandon atheism, sin, war, and hatred, that most of the world's population would be destroyed before the end of 1999 in a nuclear and environmental disaster. Satan, she said, will infiltrate to the highest levels of the church, she's speaking of the Roman Church, including the throne of Peter. The war will be intense. Rivers will turn to steam, cities will be leveled, and the whole world will be burned with fire. To give you an idea of the kind of reasoning of some of these doomsday predictions, it was suggested in a movie that if you take the number 1999 and flip it over, that is, invert it, you get 666 plus a spare digit 1. You can just get rid of that. The number 666, of course, is associated with the Antichrist in the book of Revelation. Major Ed Dames, a retired U.S. Army officer and entrepreneur, declared the end of most life on Earth for 1999. According to a remote viewing technique which he made available in a kit form with instructional DVDs, this was his entrepreneurship, he foresaw a huge solar flare which he called the kill shot, which would wipe out much of the population of the Earth. Only those underground would be protected. In preparation for the event, he took his family and employees to Hawaii, where they inhabited a lava tube until it was clear that the prediction had failed. Solar activity was actually high in that year. It varies routinely over an 11-year cycle. Jaron Criswell, the TV psychic, predicted sometime before 1982 that the world would cease to exist in August 1999. For him, it actually did cease to exist in 1982, the year of his death. He had also predicted the destruction of Denver, the shifting of the polar caps, and Castro's assassination. Well, maybe, but not yet. The first prominent one of 2000, now we're to the 2000 predictions, was the Y2K scare, in which computer glitches were expected to shut down all electronic systems worldwide and possibly cause the accidental launching of nuclear missiles, among hundreds of other crises, all because computers didn't understand the date, 2000. Of course, the mayhem did not occur. According to Time magazine for January 18, 1999, the Christian Coalition speculated that President Clinton might use the chaos that Y2K unleashed as an opportunity to seize dictatorial powers. 2000, of course, is another of those great round numbers that doomsday predictors like. Father Gobi, founder of the Marian movement of priests, believes he is receiving messages from the Blessed Mother in the form of interior locutions, that is, an inner knowing inspired from heaven, neither a voice nor a vision. On December 5, 1994, he said Mary had told him, interiorly, "I confirm to you that by the great jubilee of the year 2000 there will take place the triumph of my Immaculate Heart, of which I foretold you at Fatima, and this will come to pass with the return of Jesus in glory to establish his reign in the world. Thus you will at last be able to see with your own eyes the new heavens and the new earth." On later occasions, Father Gobi separated the triumph from the return of Jesus. Only the former was to happen in the year 2000, even though the words of Mary as he reported them supposedly were, "This will come to pass with the return of Jesus in glory." I've got about a minute left here. The Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, a Mormon polygamous splinter group, had allegedly predicted the end of the world for a few days or months after mid-September 2000. In anticipation of the event, hundreds of them pulled their children out of school and began homeschooling them. Former members have reported that church leaders predicted that towns along the Utah-Arizona border would be lifted into the sky. This group was founded in 1929 and has been excommunicated from the main body of the Mormon Church because of their insistence on polygamy. And it looks like I've only got about a little over 20 seconds left here, so I'm going to wrap this up. This is step number 2. It's going to be at least one more video to cover all of these prophecies, and we're going to get into the future very soon. Thanks for watching.